There was a lot of snow to begin with, and then the snow was very heavy and it's very wet, so that's making it slick on the roadways. An upstate family is counting their blessings tonight after their neighbor accidentally discharged a gun, striking their child's bedroom. A landslide in Black Mountain is causing some problems for drivers. He told investigators he started firing from his property down towards the church after he noticed flashlights around the church building. We're standing right at Union Street at the intersection of Alexander Avenue and Marion Avenue, and as you can see, the entire road here has been blocked off. After he moved away, we heard the snap, and then this tree came down. When it starts to melt and when it starts to get pressed down, you can see how it's already looking like ice right here. If you know anything that could help find Cooksey, call Blacksburg Police or Crime Stoppers. Thousands of rape kits sit waiting to be tested because of a huge backlog in North Carolina. So Ben, what about the actual device? Did police find out if it was real? We want to bring you to a situation that's happening right now. We're working to learn more about what exactly is going on here. According to Highway Patrol, there was some type of crash, and this is a live look from our photographer on the scene. There you see a lot of law enforcement and first responders. That video actually cannot be released by the Asheville Police Department because body camera footage is not considered to be public record. What do you have to say to the allegations? Were you friends with him? We did talk with the sheriff, and he gave us some details. And officials say that the number of power outages have improved so far. Tom, it has been a wet day, and then the chill just came right after. This is very bizarre. So the University of Kansas, a study there found certain stonefish have a hidden switchblade on their face. Tom and Amy, what was intended to be a happy Saturday at a carnival turned scary when those inflatables got caught in the wind. Oh my God! A moment Lauren Neesmith never expected.
Sheer panic.
There you go. While recording a video with her daughter about their fun day at the Springwell Church Carnival on Saturday.
The weather was great. It was a little bit windy that day.
Neesmith was rolling when that wind carried two inflatables into the air around 2 p.m.
Right after that pop noise, you heard everybody yell. And then I look over and all of a sudden the bouncy house is going through the air.
The slide, which officials say didn't have kids on it at the time, crashed into power lines off Wade Hampton Boulevard.
We did hear it go, make the bzzz noise from it hitting the power line.
What happened?
Neesmith captured the aftermath when the inflatable tumbled into the road.
We just wanted to provide a free carnival to serve and love this community.
Operations Pastor David PEARSON says hundreds of people were there.
No children were bound up in the slide or in the bounce house. As the bounce house lifted, the children fell out of the bounce house.
5 children were hurt and taken to the hospital.
Come on, baby. Come over here now.
Neesmith says she'll keep an eye on the weather.
It's okay.
When attending future events with inflatables.
From now on, if it's a windy day like it was that day, I would probably think twice about it.
The church had hired an independent company to set up, operate, and tear down the inflatables. PEARSON says at last check, all but one of the children had been released from the hospital. Tom. This is the letter of suspension from the Department of Labor, Licensing, and Regulation. Patients reached out to 7 News after arriving for appointments only to find a sign telling them the doctor is not in.
I have been coming here, this is my 10th year.
Wanda Eller is one of several patients who arrived at Wellness Family Medicine in Spartanburg wondering what happened to their doctor.
Well, he's always helped me out. He's a good talker.
The sign out front says walk-ins are being accepted, but a letter on the door reads otherwise.
There is a possibility that the office will be open in the next few weeks.
The letter is from Dr. Gordon Early telling patients the practice has been closed until further notice.
I couldn't believe it.
A letter from the South Carolina Department of Labor, Licensing, and Regulation dated February 6th explains what happened. It says Dr. Early's license to practice in the state is hereby temporarily suspended.
Although this process is intended to be confidential, I can say that I'm vigorously contesting the allegations made against me, and I'm strongly disagree with the board's action in suspending my license.
Kim High says she's been a patient for 15 years.
He was a phenomenal physician.
And was surprised at how she learned of the closure.
The doors was locked, the blinds were closed, there was 2 signs on the door.
Dr. Early says he'd seen over 800 patients in the past 3 months.
I'm saddened by the impact that this has had on my patients. patients.
And was not able to give advance notice because the suspension was effective immediately and they were awaiting the results of an emergency appeal. He says some patients received an email and others will get a letter with information on how to get their medical records and find another doctor.
It's a headache. It's a headache right now.
Dr. Early says he's now working to get that temporary suspension lifted. No word on just how long that will take. A scary situation in Greenville County diffused after an accused bank robber left a suspicious package at the scene of the crime.
The suspect is still on the loose. Deputies need help from you to try and track that guy down. Our Ben Hoover responded to the bank robbery on Whitehorse Road right as it was breaking about noon today.
So Ben, roads around that Wells Fargo were shut down and the building evacuated.
Live in Greenville County, Ben Hoover, back to you.
So Ben, what about the actual device? Did police find out if it was real?
The worst can happen.
All right, Ben, thank you for keeping us posted. A drive-by shooting leaves a man behind bars. It all started earlier today on Highway 25 in Greenwood. A highway patrol trooper saw someone open fire into another car, and that's when the suspect, police identified as Kevin Evans, took off towards Maplewood Court. Police think he ran into an apartment, and that's when the SWAT team was called in. A short while later, they saw Evans running outside and arrested him. Police also believe a victim of the original shooting is at Self Regional Hospital. 12 German Shepherds rescued from a hoarding case in Anderson County are now up for adoption.
7 News report.
The man who police say confessed to a killing while at an upstate Chick-fil-A went before a judge today in western North Carolina. Jason Butler was taken back to Rutherford County yesterday, 4 days after Travelers Rest police say he held a gun to his head and admitted to killing Michael Splon. Bond was not discussed in court today. Butler's due back in court, though, later on this month. We're learning more about the latest arrest of a former Tryon Town commissioner. We now know Leroy Miller Jr. violated his bond by testing positive for cocaine. Miller claims he thought it was oxycodone. Miller is expected to plead guilty to these charges in May. A child porn investigation that officers say spans 22 states and 4 countries likely has victims in South Carolina.